Hello. So we are going to talk about responsive web design today. That's to make your uh, websites look good and also be responsive across different devices. Take for instance, this is what I'm trying to explain. Let's go to Twitter website. You see, look at this now. Look at the website. This is how it looks. If you visit it on your browser, your laptop browser, but you realize that when you minimize it, okay, you see the same thing. But when it reaches certain viewports, I get it. When it reaches a certain viewport, look at that. It changes. I get it. It changes. The design changes and structure changes. Come to CoinMarketCap to look at this. You can see the links, the nav bar, and not the likes. But what happens? Let me open the inspect thing and look at that. Okay, you can see, and then watch this. Okay, so look at it. You can just how we really look on iPhone 12 Pro. Look at that. What about maybe Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra? Look at it. So these are all responsive web design. You can see the viewport here. That's 412 by 915. Let's do that. So that just shows you what responsiveness is all about. Okay, good. So basically, I have created a kind of dummy website. You have look at that. So we have the header having the H1 tag. Then we have the main, that's the body, and having three sections, with class yellow, red, and blue. You can see the red having some jargons in there. You can actually input these jargons by really type lorem and then tap twice. It will automatically generate the response. So you can just see it right here, and let me refresh. I'm not translating it. Look at that. Look at that. Good. Now let's see if our website is responsive. So I've added some CSS stylings and universal selector telling me processing that's but about zero margin and zero padding. I gave the header some background color of yellow. The main, that's this. Are you getting it? This main tag. I set the display to flex, so that means these sections they're all flex. They're now flex items, so we can modify as we wish. And remember, font size to 30 pt. So I set the flex to 30%. That's for the yellow, red, and blue. And what this implies is now the whole width is 100%, right? So I'm telling you, take 30. Yellow should take 30. Red should take 30, and then blue too should take 30. Then I style the footer. Good. So there is it. Now let's see if it's responsive. Okay, look at it. How it looks long. It's 20 Ultra. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, imagine you have your website and then you visit it. Do you think you want to come back the next day? No, because you feel like it's just nonsense. And iPhone SE, look at that. So you have to scroll down. You have to scroll to the left, to the right, to get it. Let me open the same thing on our Internet Explorer so you can see across different browsers. Inspect. Look at that. Same thing. What about classic food? Different design entirely. Okay. iPad mini. Another design. entirely. But look at that, not responsive. I get it. Not responsive. That's one thing you won't see with. Let's let's check my market cap. That's one thing you won't see with market cap or any inspect. So what are we doing here? Okay, iPad mini, right? Okay, let's switch to iPad mini. Look at that. If you can see this, I'm trying to still on iPad mini. You can see you can't actually see the responsiveness is not that's just the normal shaking. It's not as if you can't compare it to this. Look at this. You get it? Good. So now let's work on this. How can we actually get responsiveness? There is something called apart from the grid flexibles and maybe using Bootstrap, but you actually need something called media queries. So media queries allows you to set behaviors against set behaviors based on viewports. When you talk about viewport, this is what we are saying. Look at this. This current viewport is 375 by 67. If you switch it to PZ5, 393 by 85, and so you have to build your website in such a way that it will look good across different devices, especially mobile devices. So, and how to go about this is actually you have something called media queries. Media queries. Okay, look at that, media queries. And the syntax goes like this at media only screen and maximum width. You see 900 pixels. That's it. So what we are literally seeing here is now just the screen alone. I'm going to change the screen. You don't remember when you want to print some results, like maybe your jam results or whatever, you discover that when you print it out, is not how it's displayed on the website. That's not how you get it in the hard copy. It's done here. I can come here and see at media screen print, that is, change it for the screen and also change it for the what, for the print. In fact, I can also add the orientation and okay, and change it to landscape. That is, when the device is in landscape mode, you do like this. When it's in portrait, you do like that. I get it. Good. For now, we are going to focus on just the screen. So I'm going to say at media only screen. And what this is saying is when the screen, this maximum width means when the screen is lesser than 900 pixels, run some functions. Are you getting run some CSS properties in the sense that now let me see. Look at over here. Let's come here. Currently, the screen is 293, right? That's the width. Look at that. Look at the two tip, 393, and the height is 851. Good. Now, what we are actually saying is, and look at the header. The header background is orange, right? You remember from our styling over here. The header background color is orange. So I can go ahead and say header background color green. What am I saying is that when the screen is lower than 900 pixels, change the background color to green and the other background color to green. Look at that. You can come here and I can change the responses so we can actually see this better. Look at, just continue looking over here, the width. You see it as I am decreasing. Can you see? Immediately it reaches. Let me show you. Can you see? It is 899 901. Now one it changes to orange. 900 it changes to this, and you can minimize. So it will still maintain the green. When you maximize it back and then it crosses the 900 threshold, it changes to orange. Good. So not only that, you can make some other adjustments. I can come over here and say, okay, I want this yellow. Are you getting? I want the background to be maybe pink. Let's say section dot yellow background to be pink, and then refresh. Okay, so we are seeing 940. I getting. By the time we go down, this yellow background color should change to pink. Look at that, pink. Can you see it's pink? Perfect. One more thing you should know is you have to be consistent in the sense that, look at this. What did I use? A section dot yellow, right? You have to ensure it's also section dot yellow. I get it. If I should use just dot yellow, I can bet it won't work. You getting? It won't work. Look at that, it won't work. And that is coming from our specificity. We are not being specific enough. Look at this. Dot yellow is having 010. But section the yellow is having 011. So that means this is more specific than this. Good. It has more weight than that. So perfect. Let's change it to section dot yellow. And we have our background as pink. Perfect. So you can have multiple media queries. I can decide that, okay, maybe come on, let's take a look at this coin market cap over here. I just needed to check, look at this region. I get to look at this region, what is obtainable there. And I minimize, okay. Remember, look at this. The nav bar changes to hamburger menu. Changes to hamburger menu, but I can still see this. I get it. So there will be a time I won't be able to see this again. Okay, let's continue. Look at that. I can't see it again. I'm still seeing it now, but I can't see it again. So that shows you that different viewports gives you different things. So let's try to do that too. So I can also say here that, okay, let me just put it there. Okay, so maximum width, let's say 600. So what I'm saying here is when it's 600 and below, do this. I can say when it's 600 and below, I want the section dot yellow background color. No background. Look at that. Background to fusion to cyan. When it's 600 pixel and below, change this background to cyan. When it's 900 pixel and below, change this background color to green and the section to yellow to pink. So indirectly, we are going to have 3 types of color for our yellow. I get it. In the sense that, let me align, refresh. In the sense that the initial color is what is orange, right? Okay, good. Now when we crosses 900 downwards, it will change to Okay, just continue watching this right here. When we cross 900 and below, it changes to green. Good. Now, when we now cross 600 and below, it should change to cyan. Let's look at that. Okay, good. Not working. So what have we done wrong? Now, in cases like this, what I do advise is copy it and move to another browser. You test it in another browser and you get it. Because media queries are kind of crazy, man. Responsive. Okay, still green. So we just have to look what are we doing wrong here. And yeah, what are we doing wrong? If you remember in your CSS, I told you there are things you need to notice. We have the cascading. Cascading means it drips down. Now, and that is the one with the lower, that is low, that is below. We always take precedence. It always win out. So normally we should just do this, Control S, and paste it down. Before, this will surely win out because we are saying 900 pixels and below, so no matter what, it will surely win out. But now we say 900 pixels and below, pink. So that means when it's now reaches 600, this will take over 600 pixels and below, cyan. Let's look at that. And it should refresh. Look at that. Cyan. Okay, right. Can you see? Though it won't change right here, but once I refresh, can you see? Cyan. So literally we started from yellow. When it reaches now, just watch it. When it's 900 pixels and below, it changes to pink and then goes on to cyan. Perfect. Good. So let's actually look at this. We now know what this is. There is another one called minimum width. Let me just minimum width. When you say minimum width, you are saying 600 pixels and above. So what I'm going to say here is, look at it. The initial color of section.yellow is yellow, right? So when I say when it's reached 600 pixels and above, change the background color to cyan. It should give us yellow. I get it. But when you now cyan, when it crosses that 600, it changes to cyan and so on like that. So that's that. But most of the time, you want to use a maximum width because we are dealing with making it responsive across different browsers. I get it, across different browsers. So over here, I can come over here and do like this. Come over here, refresh. Sorry, let me cancel this. Okay, good. Look at that. Okay, it's still responsive, but over here, is it responsive? Okay, you can see it's responsive a bit, but what do you actually see here is that look at these tests, they are all just wrapped down. We don't actually want that. We don't want that. Right, good. There is a way around it, and that's why. Okay, so I can put it here by saying maybe 900 pixels. I want to change it from 900 pixels and below. So the first thing is, you notice this, I put flares 30%, flares 30%, flares 30%. It means yellow take 30%. You know the whole width is 100%, so yellow take 30%, red 30%, blue 30%. So I can just say once the width is 900 pixels and below, section dot yellow, comma, section dot red, comma, section dot blue, comma, I can just see flares 100%. And what does this mean? It means that take the whole width. So that means yellow will take the whole width. Yellow will take the whole width. It is followed by red and then blue. So they will stack on each other. So they will stack on each other. Let me rephrase that and show you how it looks like. And look at that. Look at that. Can you see? Let me just copy this. 852, right? Okay. 852. I want to show you something. 852. Can you see how it actually looks like before refreshing? I get it. Before refreshing. Even when you minimize, you can see how it looks like. But let's look at it. Let's refresh and look at that. Because now we now have it stacked. Can you see? Now you can decide that these are actually, they are too big, like the text, they are too big. You want the text to be responsive. You can just, and if you notice, I mentioned font size 1 em. You can read about that. Look at that. Perfect. Can you see that? Perfect. Can you see? The text are now responsive. Look at how big it is. But when you minimize, it reduces. I get it. It reduces. So look at this header. So I want to change the text for the header. It's the same thing throughout, and I don't want that. It's the same. I don't want that. So we can just select. Okay, our H1 tag. Okay, that's for the header, right? Beautiful header. So we can just write H1. I get it. Or if you don't want H1, we can just write H1 and look at that. Automatically minimizes it. So can you see that? Also, if you don't like it like that, you can put it separately anywhere you like. H1 font size 1 em. You can read more about EM and REM. I believe Andre made mention of that, especially during the grid and flexible section. It's a way to make your fonts responsive rather than using 10pt or 10ps that will be static throughout. So we have our font size as these. We have our font size as these. So what else can we do? Footer. Our footer is not changing too. Our footer is not changing. The text is not changing. Look at the font size is 620pt. It's not changing. So we can just put comma footer. Look at that. Footer. Perfect. And there we have it. Now, there are some times, if you notice in our CoinMarketCap, look at it. You notice these three things, they disappear. Look at that. We can't find them again. Look at it again. Trending, biggest gainers recently added. Nowhere to be found. I get things good. We can do that too. Yeah, sure, we can do that. I can see. So what do we actually want for that? Okay, that means let's make this red disappear. We can just say section dot red display none. Look at that, and boom, that's it. It's gone. It's gone. Display none. If you unclick it, it's going to show that if we don't want it. So so those are the things you're using. So you're in a way to actually build a responsive website. You can once you set the media queries, then you can use your CSS and design whatever you want inside of it. Look at that. This is a typical media query that, okay, once the 900 and below, do this. So I'm packing all these inside, and then we have a responsive website. We have a responsive website. You can remove the display none. And we have our website back. We have our website. Look at how it looks on iPhone SE. Now let me show you how it looks on iPhone SE without the media query. I'm going to comment this out, and look at that. Look at it. You have to, okay. Just imagine this a kind of news getting that you want to read, and then you have to start scrolling down, start reading two per line. I mean, it's crazy. So you just commenting it back, and there you have it. So you can actually look at how it feels across different devices right here. PZ5, Samsung Galaxy S8. Okay, look at how, okay. Now look at this Samsung Galaxy S8. Now one thing you notice it's kind of the tests are not aligned well. Are you getting? The tests are not aligned well. You can just add your line height there. There is another listing, line height 2.0. I think, yeah, it takes 2.0. Yeah, look at that. So just use these modified things and look at how it works. So that's why it's advisable that it's responsive. That's why it's advisable that you always build mobile first. You build mobile first. Now, if I'm going to develop a website, I'm going to build how it will look on mobile. Just normal coding. So once you know how it will look, once you are done with how it looks on mobile, then you can just pack all of them and put it inside the media query. Just pack everything. Create your media query like this. Copy, paste it there. So you can go back and then fix the desktop mode. Okay, you set this to 100%, you set this to 30%, and so on and so on. But still yet I can look at this now. Look at this. Okay, look at how it is, right? Okay, good. And this is how it looks like. It's not so good. I can still decide that, oh, I want it to look maybe on okay, you can decide that, oh, this is somehow, I don't like this, right? You just want this to be 2 column. You just want it to be 2 column. Good, fine. It's something you can just go ahead and say, okay, so I'm just going to copy this. No, don't worry, let me type it out. So, at media only screen and mass width. Let's just see. Okay, let me change this to 600, right? Okay, 600. So that means when it's 600 pixel and below, do that. Look at that. Okay, so what's actually going on? Okay, I'm going to comment this out. Okay, good, perfect. So then we can now set this to 900 pixel. Okay, good. So what I can now do is I can say section.yellow, comma, section.red, right? We take flares of, let's see, I can say let them take flares of 50%. Now look at what I've done here. Let's show it off so you can see it. Look at that. What I have simply done here is, look, it's going to change back. What I've done here is, look at this. Remember over here we have flares 30% yellow, red, flares 30% blue, flares 30%. Now what I've done here is, at this viewport 900 pixel, yellow and red should change to 50%, in the sense that, sorry, let me rephrase this. Okay, good. 904, 903, I need this to be 903. Okay, good. Yellow, before they were 30, 30, and 30. Do you get it? So that's 90%. It can fill in the whole 100% of the total weight. But now I'm saying this and this should take what? This and this should take 50%. So that means they are going to occupy it. And then over here we now take the whole 100%. So that's basically how you can style things with media queries. Whatever you can do with your CSS or normal this thing, you can just bring it over to the media query and then you have it done. And there you have it. You have a responsive web design. Thank you.